All right, Shalom. Shalom, giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Kakradash. Double honors to the apostles, bishops, elders of Great Millstone. Peace and blessings to the 144,000, the rest of the hopeful elect out there. This is your brother, the priest is I one from GMS Atlanta. Back with another edifying video. And this is sort of like a land back off of the last video I did, that I just put up, dealing with Asia and the emerging digital wallets. Let me see. Right, so this is a rise of digital wallets, integrating payments and digital identities across Asia. And I pretty much spoke on how quickly they're developing their technology and their digital databases, ID databases, and eventually there'll be the first region to introduce the MOTB micro C-hip, the implant, right? The mark in Revelation 13:16, which is prophesied in the scriptures, Revelation 13:16. It says that they have nearly 5 billion, 4.8 billion people within the, what it says, by the end of 2024 here, globally, we're estimated to use digital wallets, 4.8 billion people, with Asia Pacific leading the way. All right, so billions of people are already using digital wallets in that region of the earth, in Asia. So the next step is the implant, right? The charagma. So now this here says South Korean hospital adopts pass QR code app for IDV. National digital residence card rollout extends to big cities expats. And this is from March 14th, 2025. The hopeful year of deliverance, destruction, and judgment on Esau. And if you notice, right, if you've been paying attention, if you're in the know, then you know that multiple countries around the world, damn near I say all of them, all the major developed countries are all introducing national digital ID systems and digital wallets. And they're using them in different capacities. And what I found out too, I did a video on it last week or maybe 2 weeks ago, is they're introducing the biometrics and the IDs in the New York hospitals, starting in New York, and now they're doing it here in South Korea. So they're pushing forward amongst the medical sector. So it says South Korea's major mobile carriers announced that Yongin Severance Hospital at Yonsei University in Seoul will enable ID verification through the Pass app. So everything is moving to these apps. No more pulling out cards out of your wallet or out your purse, bringing in a piece of paper with the information on it. Now, everything is moving digital now. Everything is moving quick. Everything is moving digital now. It says Pass is a digital identity app developed by South Korean telecom providers that enables identity authentication services via mobile driver's licenses, which they have the same thing here in the U.S., MDLs, mobile driver's licenses, and resident identity cards. App users can also pre-install the Pass Identity Verification Service widget on their mobile phone and click the widget to display a QR code screen when needed, right? And the Apostle Hall, he mentions this a lot, about the QR codes, and the next step is the MOTB, and they use QR codes a lot in public places in Asia, places like Japan, more so than here in America. You know, like, you pull up to a restaurant now, in order to pull up a restaurant menu, they don't pass out the paper card menus no more. You got to pull your phone out and scan the QR code. A small little square on the table. I was out with my woman a few weeks ago, and I sat down and I was waiting for a menu to come, and the waiter was like, "Oh no, you just scanned the QR code on the table." So that's the next thing is the micro C-hip, the charagma. All right. It says now during registration, treatment, and payment, patients can generate a verification QR code within the Pass app and scan it at a kiosk, sending the relevant data to Young Sin Severance Hospital via NICE Information Communication, a major payment value-added network provider in Korea. So you want to pay for your visit to the hospital or, your insurance, copay, all that, you just scan the QR code and go through this app. All right? So that's the next big thing. Identity verification is now mandatory at South Korea's hospitals, following an amendment of the National Health Insurance Act last year. So see how, just in the past year, they made it mandatory for ID verification and IDs. So how easy do you think it is for them to implement the MOTB, the charagma? It'll be easy. Put it in, well, it's already in the legislation, going back to Obama, right? And then so now they implemented maybe an amendment to it. So, now you got to get the, the implant now is mandatory. So you have to verify yourself, have a digital ID, and we'll just give you the, the Neuralink in your forehead, your brain, or we'll put the dangerous things, micro C-hip under your skin, in your hand, okay, for buying and selling. It's easy, man. They're just waiting for the elites of the system of Esau are just waiting for the right reason to give it to you. It says hospital staff must manually check patients' physical identification cards or mobile ID verification services. But they're going to do away with them cards soon, right? And, that's the trend. Let's see. SK Telecom, KT, LG, U+. LG is a major telecommunication smartphone company, all right? I believe it's the same LG, right? I believe they were making televisions. I forget what it stands for. Anyway, it says companies are collaborating to drive. So all different kinds of companies are, let me do this. I don't want to be wrong. Right? Let's see what LG U+. Official site calling. Okay, so this is in South Korea. LG U+, South Korean cellular carrier. Okay. All right, there you go. So anyway, it says they are collaborating to drive use cases for Pass, having brought the tech to more than 3,600 community service centers last year. So everything has to go through the government systems, right? And the local systems over there in Korea, South Korea. The hospital is the first in Korea to use the system. But there are potential use cases in policing, elections, and domestic airline boarding procedures, as well as for identity and age verification in convenience stores, movie theaters, and car rental outfits. The service has more than 10 million subscribers. So this is the next the next big thing here, right? And it's moving quick too. Digital residence card rollout extends to all citizens. Digital residence cards are now available to all South Korean citizens for use on mobile devices. They're moving away from these ID cards and licenses, and everything is moving to having access to it on your smartphone, being accessible on your smartphone, tablet, laptop, computer, whatever. Right? Korea Jung-Aang Daily reports on an announcement from the Ministry of the Interior and Safety and the Presidential Committee on the Digital Platform Government, confirming that citizens in Seoul, Busan, and Gwangju can apply for a digital residence card at local community centers. The digital ID rollout began with a pilot in 9 of the country's administrative regions. The 3 urban centers are the last spots to activate the program because of the potentially high demand. So people want it. People outside the country. I said Georgia. Anyway, but people want this thing, man. They want it. They want this thing. It's in high demand. They want the digital ID. So how easy is it going to be for them to introduce the Karama? It says the process is even simpler for those who have IC chip-embedded plastic ID cards. That's what we have now. We have the C-hips and the well, over here in the U.S. you got the smart license, smart ID. I believe you got to get that card by May. I know here in Georgia, and then you got the debit cards and credit cards have it too. So the next step is this here. They can download their electronic ID by scanning the C-hip with their phones. Even expats, right, which is outside the country, patriots outside the country of South Korea, are able to access mobile ID provided they are age 14 or older and have smartphones in their names. Digital cards are attached to a single phone and cannot be housed on multiple devices. So everything is tied just to you. That ties in with the number of the beast. Revelation 13, 18. Everything will be individually identified, like the UPC code, 600, please go on 6. That system, right? Which eventually they want to prick in you because the characters of the 600, please go on 6. Link up to being pricked under the skin, okay, and giving you that number. It says they are valid at government offices, financial institutions, and hospitals. 15 banks have electronic systems that can process mobile ID cards for opening new bank accounts. Okay, right, buying and selling. All they got to do is transfer this to your implant. Same information, put on your implant, and they just scan your hand, right? In the near future, that's coming. Support in Samsung Wallet is expected next month. So they rolling this system out quick over there in Asia, right? Okay? Quick, man. Revelation 13. Revelation 13, and you already know what I'm going to read. 16, and he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell, save either have the mark or the name of the beast or the number of his name. Everything eventually will go into that mark, the implant system. All right, 18, here's wisdom. Let him that hath understanding count the number of the beast, this beast will be introduced through NATO in America, the revival of the Roman Empire, and it's going to be around the world. For it is the number of a man, and his number is 600-616, which is the barcode, UPC code system, and the pricking, ultimately. Okay? Pursuant to Revelation, the 3rd chapter, right? Trial by piercing. They're going to pierce you. Okay? With the the Karagma, the mark. And this is, see, now all they're doing is just setting up the infrastructure to push it, right? Here's another one here. But you know what? I might come back to this. What it says, Brunei, which is also in Asia, to launch digital ID trials soon. Okay? I'll just read this. Brunei has announced, right? Where is Brunei? Let's look up Brunei real quick. Brunei. I might be pronouncing it wrong. Sorry, Salakia. Sovereign state in Southeast Asia. So Asia is rolling out these digital IDs quick, fast, and in a hurry. Why? Because it's a part of Esau's agenda that they are owned by. Okay? And central banks. It says Brunei, all right? Brunei, all right, has announced that its national digital identity system, Brunei ID, will soon enter a 6-month trial phase. During the trial, citizens will be able to test using digital credentials while the developer will refine the platform ahead of the full-scale launch. This is what they're doing right now, launching digital IDs in different countries, get the infrastructure set up. Then when it's time for the mandatory implant, all they got to do is convince you to get it. It says the update on the project was delivered earlier this month by the Minister of Transport and Info Communications. It has everything to do with communications and information, right? Dato Siri Setia Shamari Mustafa, according to Malaysian media outlet The Star. So we're definitely now in the time of the mark, the MOTB coming to pass. Any Israelite that says otherwise, other than what GMS says, the MOTB is, the false prophets and Yahweh Bashmi Shai, the Lord, the Most High God, and the Son are not dealing with them. So with that, hope you were edified. Shalom.